Greetings, Commanders. This is Commander Meccan bringing you the latest news from the front lines of the Five-Grid War. In the last 2 hours, a couple of events of notes have happened. The first is that the impetus towards striking Oya directly has all but stalled. As we can see from the progress from the Defense Council of Humanity website, despite the effort throughout the weekend, not a single heart of the Titan has been destroyed. In fact, we are only at 40% progress. We're not even halfway through the first heart. This primarily has been driven by the fact that commanders realized how hard it was going to be, that we lacked the resources as a community to go after it in a coordinated and deliberate fashion. That instead, the alerts, which seemed initially unsurmountable, could actually be taken down with a coordinated effort. As a result, the focus of the effort has shifted to taking down the alerts, and that effort, that's the second notable development, has broadly succeeded. As you can see from our data, all but 2 of the new alerts that spawned this week have been successfully defended. The 2 remaining ones, which are by far the hardest in terms of samples, as you can see, even the second highest is more than double the already hardest system, and in aggregate more than all of the out of 20 systems combined. The community has agreed to leave for next week. We're leaving for the next week because, assuming that there are no additional spawns, and there shouldn't be, save additional interventions from outside powers, let's call them that. Assuming no additional interventions, we will have fewer than 10 systems left around Oya, which means that the effect of fighting at a Spire site will apply to all of them. Fighting at Cephei sector XO-A B3, starting on Thursday, will allow us to progress all the remaining systems up to 85%, and should be considered the priority of the war come Thursday or Thursday, as most people would call it. Again, save surprises. As always, in war, we need a plan, and then we need to adapt if things go other than according to plan. But the plan right now is to continue gathering the samples necessary to complete 15% of the inner 10 systems, which we have almost completed for the original ones, all the way up to Bayabozo, and are in the process of beginning for Bayabozo and the additional 2 systems that will turn occupied once Thursday rolls around. We have carriers deployed against each of these systems, and as you can see from the system, there's dedicated places to deliver samples if you want to continue helping with the great Oya sampling event, which remains underway. And again, for the original system, has broadly been completed. As you can see, we filled 7 out of 10 of the original carriers dedicated to this effort. There's a few left for the innermost system. There's a few left for the other unpopulated system, B1. And as I mentioned, Bayabozo still needs quite a bit of samples. As it is one of the systems that is furthest behind of the original occupied ones. The additional systems also need support, with Commander Grinscrub dedicating the Axie Invicta and Commander Itribio having dedicated his own carrier and probably renamed it so that confusion can be avoided as to what samples go to this carrier in the nearby system of Cephei sector ZZY B3. Either way, we are almost done collecting all these samples and have gathered more than 2/3 of all the necessary ones that we'll need to deploy. The way things will unfold, again, save surprises next week, is that we will ask all forces to converge on this system, this Spire system, Cephei sector XO-A B3, and fight there until the progress of all the inner remaining system reaches 85%. When that happens, the forces fighting at the Spire should continue fighting until the progress of the Spire itself reaches 100, which it will, since the Spire is now in the outside 10 systems, while all the owners of the carriers holding these samples we'll move these carriers next to rescue megaship and proceed to unload the samples that they have stocked, pushing the progress up from 85% to 100%, thus enabling us to clear all of the remaining systems in the following week. Now, if all goes according to plan, we will see those 2 alerts convert to occupied. We'll have 9 systems occupied around Oya next week. And with this plan coming to fruition, all of them will clear come April 18. Come April 18, again, without further surprises, Oya will be left with no control systems whatsoever. And at that level, its damage resistance will drop down to either compromised, which is the lowest we've seen so far, or if a lower state exists below even compromised, it may drop down even lower. That we don't know yet as to whether that is possible. But either way, it will be at its lowest possible damage resistance state. And that is when we hit Oya. Come April 18, again, saving any surprises pertaining to interventions of outside forces, and assuming that our plan completes as planned, which is certainly a lot of assumptions, but again, this is the war plan of the community as it stands. We plan to hit Oya on April 18 and following weekend. If enthusiasm is the same as the one we've recently seen in terms of forces available, we expect Oya to fall at a slower pace than Taranis and Leigong did. It is very possible for it to survive the weekend and go into the following week, unless suddenly there's a snowball and acceleration of forces converging onto Titan Oya at that point, which might be possible considering the fear of missing out or FOMO that the community may experience at that point. So it's very hard to make predictions, but either way, I think it's reasonable to say that once control systems drop to 0, assuming that happens on April 18, things will accelerate significantly as far as progress on Titan Oya is concerned. That's it. As a reminder, the current efforts are still focused on sampling and completing the loads of the carriers that are meant to be used come next week. So if you have any ability to help until Thursday, please help us fill these carriers, as you can see from this spreadsheet. Come Thursday, again, save surprises, the focus shifts entirely to fighting at the Cephei XO-A B3 Spire site until this Spire is complete and has reached 100% progress. Once that happens, or rather once it reaches 85 and the other systems cap out as far as maximum progress is concerned, all the carriers will proceed to unload, and we will bump these systems up to 100. If that results them in everything clearing as intended and as it's supposed to happen, then come April 18, we shift our focus further and strike Titan Oya. That is the community's plan. Hope you can join us. Go to Mankind and Commander Meccan, over and out.